Welcome to Stonehands. I'm going to share some thoughts about the money and the system that we are living in on this very moment and how it's going to change in the upcoming years. For many years, I was waiting for the system to change. For 10 years, I did all my business towards the end goal that soon the money system is going to collapse because I was expecting it to happen quite much sooner. But lately, the things that have taken place on the financial markets and the conflicts in different countries have begun to show where we are roaming or actually going on this very moment. And the creation of the digital currency. So my first initial thought was that when the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies were created, that this is the beginning of the end. But I did not anticipate it to take that long. And now central banks in different countries, like in China, in Thailand, are creating their own digital currencies, or you can't take that much cash out from the bank automats in Europe anymore, and banks are asking fee when you take out over 2,000 euros, over 3,000 euros, depending on a bank. We see a transition, but there's another aspect that the whole society is on the brink of collapse for the last few years since the times of the COVID. Many strange things have taken place on this planet, and one of those things is the overall crisis. As of those videos in London, how the Extinction Rebellion and other rebellions rebelled in the center of London, blocking the main roads in the times of COVID. And from there, something started rolling in my head that we are going to change. But now, as all those rebellions have calmed down, we are going to change it in a different way. As in the news, we're talking about the climate crisis, about the extinction, etc. But our money system is changing. The fiat currencies, they are not relevant anymore. They have lost most of their value during all those years. Like 50 years ago, a man working in a factory could upkeep his family, his wife and children, and purchase a house and a car. Nowadays we need two people to work all time to be able to purchase a house, and with a job with a good salary, not in any random job, or in a bad case an apartment building, a flat. So the money has lost its value, the valuation, you know, and the US dollar and other currencies, they are not that strong anymore. And now, when on this day, when I'm recording this video, the silver rose 15% in its value in one day. Something has happened to the value of money, and it's time to purchase different kind of assets, because we are going through a transition to a digital currency in the upcoming years. I don't know how many years it will take, 2, 3, 4 or 5 years, but that's something that we cannot escape anymore, and digital currency will start to show us a way, to guide us, and it can be part of the control society, or it can also benefit people, because Most banks are using our own money to give out loans, and actually, banks have 5 to 10% of all the money that they should have stored into them. So basically, we can't take all of our money out from a bank. That's a fascinating factor. But so many people know it. So nevertheless, but we are in the times where we should start creating physical assets, learning real life skills, and owning some silver or gold or even some copper if you want to, some uranium, yeah. And with those assets, you're able to trade them for value, for money. It can be the digital currency in the country you're living, it can be a cryptocurrency which is separate from the digital. So, cryptocurrency is based on ownership and autonomy, that we are able to own the systems where we are making transactions and using our cash or our money. The centralized digital currency is all about control, that there is a central government controlling all our transactions and is able to shut down our flow of money. Even now, in the midst of the crisis in Ukraine, many Russian oligarchs have lost their money and power. Their assets and their money has been frozen. So it's possible and it can happen. Like uh, like we see in the Premiership, the Chelsea Football Club having new owners, and it's just a way how world is going on this very moment. It's not good or bad. It's more about we have to make choices, how we are going to live in the future, where we are going to live in the future. Like with my family, we have chosen to live on the countryside, to create a community over here, to be autonomous, to grow our own food, enjoy the nature. But most people will probably choose the megalopolises and huge cities, and it's okay. But is there a way out? And is there a way in? These are important questions where we are heading towards. And I don't mind if there is no way out or in. It's more about being clear about our own goals, where we want to go and what we want to experience. Like the concept of the 15-minute city. I think it's good if some power does not corrupt it, like a central government giving out virtual currency, digital money. That could be the case, but I hope it will not be. I hope that the 15-minute cities will reduce the amount of pollution, the amount of cars being manufactured, and people having more leisure time and able to practice hand handcrafts, craftsmanship, and their skills in life. I hope. I hope. I'm a positive person. I'm an optimist. I always hope for the best things to happen in this world. But sometimes bad things happen, and some agendas are pushing towards bad things. Like, there's so much room on this planet, and there's around 70 billion farm animals. My hopes are that we are able to transition to a more caring world, that we are able to care more about other people, about animals, and give hope that our business is built upon ethical and moral values. Like King Charles, many people accuse him of being a tyrant, but I really admire him and his vision, as he's been growing organic food for many years, and he made this decision to the climate problem. He decided to eat only 2 times in a week a meal prepared of animals. So one day on Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday he eats meat and on Sunday fish. And Quite many of us are transitioning towards such diet that we could care more about the environment, the nature, that we could rewild the whole planet. There are many people doing great rewilding projects and giving new hope to people that they can live in peace and in harmony, in co creation with the nature. And my aim is to figure out the business opportunities that we could do business that would help to reforest the planet, a business that has a sense of purpose, that does not aim for endless growth, but for a limited growth, but more like into a symposium, a business that is able to cooperate with other parts and particles of the whole organism that our ecosystems have created. And entrepreneurship should be all about the passion, the problem that you and I are solving in this world. As long as we ignore the problems and we create more, it's not a good world. And even if everything is perfect, like in utopia, there are still ways that we can create new solutions and harmony in this world. And I'm a firm believer that every family should have a homestead, at least 1 hectare of land where they can grow their own food, live in peace and harmony, and communicate with their neighbors, with their communities, and feel this sense of belonging. As one of the diseases that we have in this modern world is the disease of isolation. And as I said, the systems are crumbling down. We see crises in the schools, that school systems are not working anymore. Children are medicated more and more because they cannot comprehend the education rules anymore. Children have changed, and then there's this isolation problem that so many people are living alone. The male suicide is in its all-time high because so many males do not have a purpose in this life, and purpose is about caring and nurturing your community. But if there is no community, there is isolation, there will come a suicide and death. And the crisis in the banking sector, as banks have lost most of their value and they cannot comprehend the changes. So many banks are blowing up lately. And and when the digital currency will be addressed, why do we need banks anymore? Will they transition into new roles? That could be a possibility. And the healthcare sector, as in the times of COVID, we saw that healthcare was not able to comprehend unexpected circumstances. And in UK, for example, there are so many nurses who cannot afford to live anywhere, and they are working all day long. So that's imbalance and homelessness, mass homelessness around the world. What is going on? Why the land has been taken away from people, and how people can get it back, and how people can start creating harmonious communities that they will have a purpose to live and coexist and cooperate together. When we look at the models of Denmark, how the how the government is creating eco villages projects, and also autonomous communities are creating eco villages in Denmark. It's both ways. They are creating habitats for happy families, for happy communities, for people to thrive and to live happily ever after. We could replicate those models from Denmark to every country to offer organic food, proper health care that addresses also the emotional pain of a person, and and educate children in a way that their vision, that their mentality is opened up and they're able to express the creative abilities and advanced technology, that actually we do not have to be slaves to our work, but we can specialize in our craftsmanship and become great in the things that we love to do. So we are moving through fluctuating times quite soon, and I hope we all will make it true. and 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 it's all about starting or to figure out the value that we are going to have in this future world, and what are our possessions and what we are able to own and what we are able to give away, like sharing tools and sharing cars, etc. But if you want to be free, we have to own also some assets. It could be some physical gold or silver, cryptocurrencies that are not governed by a centralized system. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, check out my other videos, and join the waitlist. See you soon, and thank you for watching.